There's a handful of retro-inspired multiplayer-focused games out there, and there's a new one on the Switch called Astro Duel Deluxe. But does this game end up reaching for the stars, or does it just crash right into an asteroid? Astro Duel Deluxe is an arena-based, multiplayer-focused style of shooter, featuring up to 6 ships battling one another for supremacy, with the last one standing being declared the winner. The game has a lot of inspiration from classic games like Astroids, as well as the Atari 2600 classic Combat. The game features 3 different modes of play, as well as 4 different types of battles that you'll be able to do. The 3 modes include Classic, Party, and Chaos. Classic mode is the more balanced mode here. You can play with up to 4 players all at one time, though you can play against bots if you don't have friends to fill in the particular roles, and they can be set to multiple different difficulties if you like, in order to increase or lower the difficulty of the matchups. Once you select your pilot, you then get to set up the match type that you want to compete in. There's 4 different types of matches. You can select the arenas that you would like to battle on, or just have it be random for each setup, as well as a few other customizable rules, such as does sudden death come into play, the amount of asteroids on the map, and is there fixed spawning, aka spawning at the same spot at the beginning of each matchup. All of these rules are the same amongst all the modes. You can kind of set them up the way that you would like. There's 4 types of matches you're able to do, though. These are Ship Destroy, Pilot Destroy, Team Ship Destroy, and Team Pilot Destroy. The difference between Ship and Pilot Destroy is, well, your ship takes 1 hit and you are done, unless you do have a shield power-up. There is a handful of power-ups you can get on each of the matchups. As well as with the Pilot Destroy, instead of when your ship is destroyed being game over for you, you can actually fly around as your pilot. You are vulnerable, you can't attack, and you can be run over or shot. But after a little bit of time, if you're able to survive, you get your ship back to continue the battle. The Chaos mode is very similar to the Classic mode, except here you can play up to 6 players, with bots being included, or all have them being human-controlled players. And here, of course, because the maps are only the same size, spawns are going to be relatively close to one another, and there's a lot more bullets flying around. There also seems to tend to be more power-ups during the Chaos mode that make things even more hectic. The Party mode is probably the most interesting mode, where you can actually have players surround the touchscreen of the Switch and move their character around that way with a button that is designated for them to be their fire button using the Joy-Cons on the side of the Switch. It's interesting for sure, but it just ends up being pretty hectic and crowded, though there are some adjustments you can make as far as button layout and other controllers being involved. Unfortunately, there is no online multiplayer. The power-ups do make the matchups a little bit more interesting, such as the missile that can hit and destroy a larger radius, a spread shot, and a couple of different shields that will definitely aid you in the overall chaos of things going on. But there is no story mode or even other things for you to unlock while playing through the game, so there's not a ton here to really get into. From the technical side of things, though, the game did run smoothly. I didn't run into any major glitching, crashing, or slowdown of any sort. And the soundtrack has that retro feel to it, and there are a couple of decent music tracks in the game that go along with the action. Astro Duel Deluxe is available now on the Nintendo Switch for $14.99, which is just way too much to ask for what you end up getting here. The game is that multiplayer focus, so I wouldn't really recommend getting it if you're just going to be playing by yourself. Even with the added bots, it probably still won't bring you that much enjoyment. However, if you have some friends that are going to be coming over, you're going to be able to take your Switch to a party, there is some fun to be had. It's just not an absolute ton of it. With everything said, I'm going to be giving Astro Duel Deluxe an average 5 out of 10. But anyway, guys, it's going to wrap up this review. I'd like to thank you for watching, and of course, I hope you enjoyed.